So, hi, we're here for the extended. We're gonna look and see here. We're gonna look and see. First of all, I want to know what's going on with this masculine. Hold on just a second. Okay, so the masculine is graduating to an awakened state, and we're gonna see how that evolves. But I also want to see what's going on with the masculine because it seemed like they were doing something that created a lot of feelings for the feminine. There might have been some kind of past history. Um, I feel also the feminine needs somebody to come forward and make some kind of commitment. And I want to see what that is about it because it seems like the masculine here is going to do it. And there's also something prickly expansion on the horizon. So I'm feeling like a truth needs to come out. Three of Swords, Page of Cups. On the masculine, we have Page of Wands, Five of Pentacles. So feminine is clarified by the Magician, the masculine is clarified by the Lovers. And the overall energy right now is the Death card. So there's some kind of choice here. I do feel like the masculine will continue to do things the old way until the feminine speaks up about what the needs are, because the masculine makes romantic gestures, comes from the heart, probably tries to flirt, woo, romance, and that's okay and that's great, but the feminine wants a little bit more than that. Since everything has happened, this is not a brand new person. And the feminine needs to say something with the Magician here. Okay. They need to say what they want. They definitely need to say what they want because the masculine's going to hold their ground. So they'll quickly rise to whatever occasion. But the masculine doesn't understand what the occasion is, doesn't understand what the bar or the barrier to entry is. And we have flirt here. We have reconciliation and flirt. Extend lighthearted energy. They've been separated from each other. So the feminine needs to keep an open mind. The masculine needs to let go of control issues. The situation is going to unfold naturally. So there's something about the masculine having some kind of strategy that really kind of blocks or slows down or impedes the situation. There needs to be a bit of an ego death because there's been a communication breakdown with the Magician here. Now, the masculine is compatible with the feminine. The love is requited, but it might not feel or seem that way. And again, there's children on the feminine side. So if the masculine's not here acting, I mean, there's children on the other party's side. So if the masculine's not acting really immature, then they either want children or have children. In addition, this card can signify you or your partner's inner child affecting the relationship. This might mean that there's a need for playfulness or lighthearted spirit, or can signal that it's time to heal childhood emotional wounds. The loving nature is your inner child. The loving nature of your inner child and children in general is supportive of healing work, especially when its intention is to bring more love. So far, we have reconciliation and flirt, which is talking about lighthearted energy and somebody from the past returning. So there's the need to keep an open mind. I feel like the feminine started to move on, and then this masculine comes back and it throws a wrench in their plans with the Three of Swords and the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is wanting to move on, move forward. Yeah, there was something here is false, mislabeled, misjudged, misperceived. I don't feel like because the red flag is not out, so this is not lies, like things with the statement to deceive. They need to get on the same page because there's a communication breakdown for sure, and this is happening. But it's a timing thing, so the masculine better hurry up. There's a there's a timing thing here on the on the horizon. The feminine, oh, excuse me. The feminine needs to speak up about something because they were at some time trying to put an end to this situation. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I'm feeling hiccupy and butterflies in my stomach, anxiety, nervousness. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, this energy is pretty intense. But it's very subtle and there's nothing bad coming out. So we have the Seven of Wands on the masculine side responded with the King of Swords on the feminine. And we have the Prince of Pentacles on the masculine side responded by the Six of Swords on the feminine. The masculine clarifies with the High Priestess and the feminine clarifies with the Death card. So the masculine might need to share what they're feeling or share what they're sensing, because I feel like the masculine has deeper intuition, and that might be why they're timid. They keep coming up. They came out right away with the King energy, and then they've been showing up with Prince. And the feminine didn't show up with any court cards, and now all of a sudden they're here with the King. So the feminine is like trying to put an end to the situation, trying to exercise judgment here. And that's the thing with the King of Swords. The King of Swords can put an end to things. They have an authority that's not immediately present, but they really do have the authority to put an end to something. Okay. So I don't know what that is, what that looks like. What that means, I'm detecting here though, well, with the death card clarifying it, yeah, there's a way to break through. There's a truth and some clarity because the masculine is feeling and sensing something. The overall energy is the Fool, so that can be break out, break free, especially with the Six of Swords here. There are romantic feelings. The feelings are worth exploring. And I think that's a message to the masculine. Also, the masculine needs to release their ex, clear their energy. It doesn't always mean release their ex. It could be experiences from their ex. So, because ex could be an amorphous amalgamation of previous experiences. So it might not be any one ex. Okay. Children keeps coming around here. So somebody has some inner child wounds. And we need to get back to a place where they're living free and unbound. You know, I'm feeling the feminine had already kind of got in there and done their work and left. And you know, a woman leaves a lot longer in her heart and her mind and her soul and her spirit before she does in her body, you know, in the physical here. The feminine needs to speak some kind of truth so that things can move on, because the masculine is slow and steady, but they're trying to hold or defend some type of position and they don't understand what they're up against. So it's like they're fighting an uphill battle for something that they already have, probably because they're not coming out with their feelings, coming out with their plans, coming out with their intentions, coming out with what it is that they want. So this transformation or ego death is on the feminine side, but it's not an ego death. The feminine is very, very clear. So there might be an ending. Something has to be over. So now the masculine contributes the Six of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles, and the feminine response with the Ace of Swords and the Page of Swords. So the feminine is clarifying with the Fool. The masculine is clarifying with the Temperance. There's a victory or accolades or recognition here. There is some kind of sacred energy exchange with the Six of Wands. They recognize or acknowledge the twin flame connection. This is the Temperance. It's predicated upon the masculine doing the work properly, understanding worth, value, deservedness, cultivating self-worth and value, understanding what they deserve. Because they keep having this plan, this agenda, Seven of Pentacles, and it seems kind of sneaky, or like they're spying, or like they're scrutinizing facts because of some kind of truth. I don't feel it's a curiosity. I feel like they want to do something the right way, and they're not going about it the right way. On the feminine side here, what we have is somebody wants to either wipe their slate clean or break free from this. So yeah, because the feminine is wounded. They need new. And they thought they were under the impression, they thought or were under the impression that they had left this relationship because of some reason, but there needs to be a heart communication on our side, on the feminine side. And the masculine needs to make the effort. The feminine is definitely willing to wait, but that's also why they're leaving, because they were waiting in a way that was unhealthy, maybe even a little bit toxic. I'm not getting that. We've already had the Lovers, we've already had the Emperor, we've already had the Temperance card. So that's the twin flame, soulmate, and divine masculine. We're waiting for the divine feminine. So the masculine comes through with its work. It does turn things around. It does bring in a new beginning. It's clarified here by the Hierophant. So they do come correct. But they're kind of slow, plotty. It takes them a moment to get things done properly or the right way. Grant me a moment. And the feminine knows what the solution will be, or the solution for everything comes here. There needs to be some kind of illumination, enlightenment, growth, or vitality breathed into the situation. Because the feminine is clarified by the sun and the masculine is clarified by the Hierophant. So that's that coming correct on the masculine side. With the Two of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, it's doing the work properly. There may also be a Taurus moon here I'm detecting. And again, I'm getting Libra energy on the feminine side, a Libra moon. Or Libra sun. Religious factors. There's a respect thing here. Policy, procedure, and protocol. Because there's attraction, but codependency. To heart communication. I feel like the masculine is coming off way more emotional than the feminine is here. Way, way, way more emotional. Because what we have is somebody's trying to do work, trying to heal a situation. Somebody's trying to heal a situation where there was a trauma. The feminine seems to be coping in some kind of way. And there will be a new beginning, but something needs to turn itself around. Two of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. You know, it can be a reversal. It could be turning things, you know, around. It could be a compromise of some kind. You know, it's clarified here by the Hierophant. So that's commitment, but it's also rules and regulations, policies and procedures, protocol, coming correct, doing things the right way, adhering to agreements, adhering to commitments. With the Queen here of Pentacles, it can be making a commitment here. Because the female is not happy with what's being offered. Okay, but we have the Ten of Pentacles on the masculine side. but there's some kind of obsession here. The masculine might also have been projecting their energy beforehand, or messed up something that was destined, because it feels like the feminine overcame something. The masculine had some negative influences. So there's love here, but it's not enough for the feminine. I feel like the masculine might have gone out and done something weird, too much research and became obsessive. I'm also detecting here with the moon and the devil, somebody may have done energy manipulation, spiritual manipulation. Okay, I just got a confirmation. The masculine is coming off a little petty, a little basic, especially in the past. And in the future, the feminine is going to come off very loving, or do something with love. The feminine has the strength card, the masculine has the devil. So that's standing up to bullies. I do feel like the masculine's emotionally manipulative here, but they're maturing, growing, evolving in some way. There's things that need to be worked out in the background, or processed, or confronted. Some things might need to come up from the depths of the soul. So that is confronting fears with the moon and the devil, but that can also be evil sorcery. Sorcery in general. Not exactly, not actually bad. Sorcery has a more negative connotation than it usually is, because that involves a lot of spiritual manipulation. Magic is just about turning ideas into reality. So the feminine is needing clarity here about what the plan is. And they need the situation to get better, or they're going to have to walk. That's what I'm detecting on the feminine side. So they have strength, courage, and wisdom, and they are going to voice that. The King of Swords and the Queen of Swords have already come out, including the Page of Swords. Now the masculine has the Devil card, so they might be dogged, they might have lust, they might be afraid. So this Devil card is clarifying the 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles. So they're really strongly working on this situation, but they're a bit of a dud. 8 of Pentacles, Devil, that's a bit of a dud. Somebody that's really heavy in their energy. They tell the same joke over and over for years and years. They go about things the same way. They don't evolve. They're very static, not dynamic. They use strategies, tactics, and the strategies, tactics should have evolved 5, 10 years ago. They do things that would have worked in the 90s, early 2000s, even though we're in the 2020s now. You know, they're a little bit outdated or old-fashioned or clunkety. The word is perfunctory, maladaptive, idiosyncratic, extemporaneous. This is the kind of person that reads things off Google and believes them as if they're law, instead of finding a few extra sources, you know. And what they're trying to do is evolve this into a lifetime commitment, legacy building here. But I also feel like since they were kind of petty, basic with the 5 of Wands, they might not have done what the universe intended to happen, and now this situation is becoming devoid of spirit. So they have had their prayers answered. They've called in their soulmate, and that's us. The thing about this, though, is that they're doing too much or too little or something in the weird way. Their prayers have been answered. They might be obsessive about children. And the feminine is loving themselves first. So the feminine has way too much self-respect, and this masculine doesn't know how to show up because the self-respect is appearing as strong. And I'm not getting toxicity on the feminine side at all. No fives have come out. The feminine is willing to leave, to walk on, to leave this behind, even if the world's being offered to them. That might be hyper independence, but I'm not getting it. I'm getting strength, courage, and wisdom, so they're too strong for the masculine. And that's also creating some fear. For some reason, the masculine needs to feel like people need them, or it creates fear. So this is something that's ripened on the vine, but the masculine, of course, has the hangman now. And if you have the hangman in the Ace of Pentacles, okay, the hangman is clarifying the Five of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. So the masculine needs to drive this forward, and they're not going to know how because they're a little bit out of touch. They need to see things from a different perspective. They're actually receiving wish fulfillment, and they're acting like they're being told no because the feminine is too strong, too secure, has too much courage, wisdom, emotional fortitude. And that, I wouldn't say that's a threat to the masculine. Actually, yeah, it's a threat to the masculine. So now the feminine is feeling a little bit of some constriction, or the feminine has to see truth, clarity, and cunning. When something gets put forward, they need to see the masculine. And you notice how I'm barely saying he, she, because I'm feeling like the feminine needs to see the masculine incorporate what's being told, respect standards and boundaries, instead of becoming fearful and resorting to tactics. Because the feminine's intuition is telling them to give as much love to this petty, basic person. I mean, King of Cups, Five of Wands, that's the energy of somebody who is getting what they want, but they're really being combative, conflictive, crossing conundrums. There's a solution being offered here because the feminine wants to give love and the masculine wants to fight for something. So it's creating boundaries on the feminine side because it's almost as if the masculine is not listening to the truth that's being told to them. They're fighting something that they feel the need to compete for love that's already here. So the feminine might have said very clearly what they could offer, what they're willing to provide, what kind of emotional commitment they want to make. And the masculine is doing something that is creating boundaries. The feminine needs to let the situation unfold naturally, but the thing about it is like children is what the masculine wants, and the children, the feminine might not want that. Also, I feel like the feminine might have other opportunities as well, and so they're not going to put up with a lot of horse pucky here. And this could be the one, frankly, but there's not a lot of trust. And they need to go away and give it a real good shot. I think they need to take a trip together, like a weekend trip, or go away to the countryside. The masculine needs to see things from a different perspective. Hangman. Because there is a bright new beginning here, but I do feel like the masculine is going to try to impregnate the feminine. For some reason, that's a petty little plan of theirs. And really what this is that this is a viable opportunity. This needs to be worked on. It's really well matured. It's been maturing for a while, and it was put on the path by the divine. But somebody here is lacking an open mind. The reality is different than their expectations, and they're using that to become petty and create problems. Five of Wands, it's creating conflicts in the love here. Five of Wands, King of Cups. If the Five of Wands, Ace of Pentacles are here, and it's clarified by the Hangman, it means they want the same thing, but they're going about it a different way. If we have the King of Cups and the Seven of Swords on the feminine side, clarified by the Moon, the feminine wants to commit their love, but there's some type of deception or ulterior motive. And with the Moon, they're sensing that. There may even be lies, but I don't feel that. It might have been in the past, because the Moon can talk about the past. It's in the position of the past as well. Because the masculine came in and out with the Prince of Wands, and it says forgiving and learning. We're waiting for the Empress to come out. It's the very last card. Okay. Yeah, there's some second guessing on the feminine side, because I really don't feel it's second guessing. The feminine was about to move on completely, and now they need to reconsider some of their choices. And also, they can't go any further until the masculine does a few things, probably gets clear on certain things or acts right. I'm in your corner, but you don't act right. I'm trying to love you, but you don't act right, baby, please. Yeah, who is that? Fantasia. Baby, we need to talk. I'm not trying to start a fight, but something with us is wrong, and you cannot deny it. Yeah, that's Fantasia. I'm in your corner, but you don't act right. I'm trying to love you, but you don't act right. Yeah, so baby, please. Yeah. Okay, so the feminine has said, hey, I'm putting down my boundaries and standards, policy, procedure, and protocol. This is the rule of regulation for us to go forward. And if you cannot meet this bar or exceed it, my standards are not met, and I will have to put down a boundary. And then what the masculine does is tries to lower the standards and disrespect the boundaries. Okay, so if you're overriding, dismissing, bypassing, especially the feminine boundaries, that's a problem, because it's more in alignment universally, spiritually, for the feminine to question the masculine's standards, or for the masculine's boundaries. And it's more in alignment spiritually for the masculine to question the feminine's standards. But if the masculine is questioning her boundaries, that's going to deteriorate quickly. And if the feminine is questioning the masculine's standards, it's going to deteriorate. So I think there might need to be walking here. I think it's not quite ready. I think there needs to be more healing, because I think the feminine does not want children and is under the impression that there can't be children. And that's not quite the case. Maybe not biological. Okay, so there's something. And the masculine needs to respect these boundaries that the feminine is putting down. There's easy expansion here, or the situation is expanding from the past. Somebody's trying to drive things forward, but they're cycling between hastiness rage, calm. They're coming off a little scary, but they're actually harmless unless they're resorting to tactics that involve emotional warfare, but that would typically be something where they quickly change. And if a person quickly changes, they're unpredictable, and that means they're dangerous. Yeah. They need to clear their energy because they're not hearing what's being said. The hangman was here before. That's keeping an open mind. This could be the one. It's very clear. Everything is here, but it's not coming together the right way. And they need to focus on the passion. They need to focus on the trust. They need to focus on the ease. There needs to be some kind of safe space. Things are too tense. And there needs to be a culmination, completion, graduation, broadening of horizons here with the World card. The feminine has wish fulfillment here, Star card. But with the Eight of Swords, Two of Cups, it means there's boundaries and constrictions on the love. There needs to be safe space, Six of Cups, sanctuary, refuge. On the masculine side, Prince of Wands, Four of Pentacles. Hey, manifest this foundation here. But Eight of Wands, things need to be more dynamic, more progressive, more expansive. They're very stuffy, the masculine. Let your friends help you. They need to get some guidance, some wise counsel outside of the communication, clarification, reasoning, intellect with the feminine. So whatever intellect, reasoning, communication is happening between the feminine, they need to take that, maybe not what they're saying, don't give quoted statements, but give the gist. Hey, my girl's telling me that I need to be less of a fuddy-duddy. What do I do? To one of his homeboys, or even wise counsel, maybe even a professional like a therapist. You know, my feminine is telling me I that they want this. I don't know how to go about that. Because the feminine is worried about her own things right now because the masculine is just doing too much. And it is a particular problem. The masculine does not feel safe. They're really in some kind of emotional crisis. And it's a safety thing. They're not feeling safe. They're not feeling held. They're not feeling heard. And it's absolute BS, but it's childhood wounds. It's their inner child. The masculine is in a safe space, or is being told everything they need to be told. So on the masculine side, with the Eight of Wands and the Three of Wands, clarified by the Wheel of Fortune, there needs to be some expansion here. Maybe even some recognition that it's time. Because with the Six of Cups and the Nine of Swords on the feminine side, clarified by the Chariot, things need to move forward. Something here is anguishing. Something here is impeding peace and safe space. So that's what boundaries and standards are for. Please stop. I don't like that. I'm feeling uncomfortable. I need more space. Not around me. Don't take it personally. It's just a boundary. A boundary. So a person doesn't put boundaries and standards to hurt the other person. They put boundaries and standards so that they can continue giving to the relationship and having a relationship with the other person. And when a person is putting down standards and boundaries, they're not saying, I don't want you. They're saying, I can't stay if I experience more of what just happened. They're actually saying, I don't know how to stay if I experience more of what just happened. So the masculine needs self-worth and value, Nine of Pentacles. And the feminine is going to need to see that coming in because it's driving them crazy, Nine of Swords. And this is a boundary, Five of Swords. If the masculine doesn't Nine of Pentacles, then there's going to be Five of Swords, period. And the feminine is very clear on this, has a lot of wisdom about this. Chariot with the Hermit. And that's another indicator that somebody needs to go and get wise counsel. They need to be helped. They need the wise counsel, Hermit, to help evolve. Chariot, because this is the single biggest thing that will bring fortune and culmination, Wheel of Fortune. It's time that the masculine evolves into something more progressive and dynamic, expansive. And what that thing, that's the Three of Wands, Eight of Wands. And what that is self-worth and value, Nine of Pentacles. Chariot, success, triumph, moving on, moving forward, leaving something in the past. The past itself, Six of Cups, Nine of Swords. We have to have safe space and sanctuary, period. The safe space, the sanctuary, the harmony, the peace, fulfillment, bliss in the connection, Six of Cups, is impeded, Nine of Swords. And there, that it's clear though, it's a lose-lose situation right now, Five of Swords. It is safe for you to love, open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. I'm hearing that. Please stop, I don't like that. I'm feeling uncomfortable, I need more space. Not around me, don't take it personally. It's just a boundary, a boundary. Yeah, separation, okay. There's too many things that make this masculine anxious, nervous, reactive. That's why it keeps suggesting retreat, because they need to disconnect from the environment surrounding location. This Nine of Pentacles becomes the Ten of Wands, so they really become burdened. Two nines, they're gonna need to take more space, unfortunately. And then the divine feminine has the Hermit. So that's again withdrawing, taking space. And it's according to karmic justice. So the masculine was warned this would happen. The Tower is looming. Page of Cups, Nine of Wands. The feminine gave an authentic, genuine, sincere effort, truly came with her heart, but had clear boundaries and gave the masculine a chance with the Two of Swords. They did the diplomacy, the reasoning, the communication. They came to the table, tried to make it work, and the masculine doesn't allow it because of whatever healing that they need. The feminine was very clear on what their needs were. The feminine had deep insight and wisdom. And the masculine had this opportunity in their hand, and they weren't able to rise to the level of skill. So the feminine's boundary, Five of Swords, that was put down was that the masculine needs self-worth and value, Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so now the masculine is weary or wounded because 9 of Wands, because they dug a hole for themselves. 10 of Wands. Okay. They were told very clearly what to do, 2 of Swords, but they were told very clearly what to do, 2 of Swords, but they have some opposite mind. And they're carrying a flame for somebody that might not be willing. So I'm getting 2 different things. Because the Tower is here. So the Tower is building things on a false foundation, but not always, because the Tower is Saturn plus Uranus energy, or zodiac Mars. So this could be erecting some kind of foundation, but it's very difficult. But what I'm actually hearing is that this masculine was told of a boundary or 2. And I feel like the masculine thought that they could bypass, override, dismiss what is being told. Ten of Wands, 2 of Swords. This masculine is blind to something, and they were already told how to navigate, how to decide. But when you decide something, you lose, because it's not a choice. When you decide something, you lose. When you choose, you add something in. When you decide something, it's either this or that. When you choose, it's this and that. Okay, so the masculine needed to kind of sacrifice something, and they're under the impression that they can get what they want. So they're carrying a flame that's not actually going to work, because the Tower is here. It will crumble. Okay, so this fell to the floor. They need to disconnect from the world. Release your ex, deception. They're not seeing something, they're not hearing something, something's being told to them. It didn't come out with red flags, so it's not lies, okay? The masculine is, and the feminine might also be staying and shouldn't, and it's finally leaving, and the masculine doesn't understand why. Well, that means the feminine was putting up with BS for too long, and it's finally walking because it's gotten so frustrating. Remember, the 9 of Swords was out before. So the masculine is feeling single in this relationship. They need validation, but they need to validate themselves and just ask for affirmation. And with the 5 of Swords, even if it doesn't feel like it, your feelings have been validated, but maybe just not affirmed. The feminine might be like, I see that you want children. That's not something I can give you. The last time, my pregnancy was very difficult, or I'm 2 years into a 7-year or a 6-year, birth control regimen, maybe an IUD or something, and I'm not willing to make a change right now. And so the masculine is like, okay, and then a month later, 2 months later, thinks that they can still get the feminine to get pregnant. And it's like, it can even be that okay, I am both pro-life and pro-choice in Voodoo, in West African Voodoo, in most indigenous practices. There's no terminating of a pregnancy. Okay, something just fell to the floor. So there's love here, but the feminine can't give the masculine what they want. There's not enough. The masculine wants more than the feminine is willing to offer. And the masculine needs to wait, hold out for what they want. Keep an open mind, or hold on, or go out and manifest what they want. The masculine has codependency. The masculine the masculine is staying here too long. So they either need more self-worth and value, or they need to walk, because not all their needs are going to be met. I think the masculine wants children. I think the masculine wants a deeper commitment, and the masculine wants somebody that is not so strong in their nature. So I feel like this masculine is a beta, and it's connected to an alpha female, and alpha female should always leave a beta man, unless the alpha female has some type of desire for a strong sexual submissiveness. Does that make sense? And that would enter into the kink area, so I won't continue. Unless that's the case, an alpha female really cannot tolerate long-term a beta male. The masculine needs to free himself, okay? The masculine needs to free himself, take control of his life. Something here is off. If the they have a connection here, it's a divine one, but I feel like the masculine is unaligned and the feminine gave it too much. And the masculine is refusing to align properly, and the feminine is refusing to walk immediately. Because if the feminine walks immediately, the masculine will align, but the feminine is still going to need to make some type of compromise that the feminine won't. The feminine has strong boundaries and is communicating. If the masculine is wishy-washy or flip-floppy or weak, petty, bunk, basic, low vibrational, a little bit of a loser, maybe a loser mentality, I'm not getting that depressive energy. I'm getting pettiness. So the overall energy here is playfulness. Be lighthearted, be caring, kind, compassionate, because one person feels like the other one is too intense, or and the other one feels like the other person is too strong. So the masculine is very intense. They have codependency problems, and even though they're a little bit of a beta, they come very hard, but they just don't take a stand. And the feminine may be hyper independent, and I feel like they're losing compassion, but it comes and goes. It's a waning thing. That means they're getting tired. Boundaries aren't being respected. I'm really struggling with this reading. These readings have been incredibly difficult for me. I'm just overwhelmed. And it doesn't mean overstimulated. It's not about what's coming in. Is I can't put everything together properly. It's exceptionally straining. The reason that this seemingly non-compatible relationship is coming in is because they really need to get deep with each other. There's a lack of trust, but there's nothing incredibly toxic here. What it is like each party is not getting comfortable. On the masculine side, they need to detach from the world. There's too many rhymes and reasons. There's too many coulda, shoulda, woulda. There's too, and a little bit of, comparison. They're looking around to see why something won't work. I can definitely tell that the masculine needs a lot more self-respect, needs a lot more self-worth and value, and needs a lot more confidence. And the feminine needs to not be so hyper independent and to be more compassionate. It says feelings here are worth exploring. Because the feminine doesn't want to let go yet, but they're preparing and they already tried to let go. And the masculine keeps coming at this in a way that makes it difficult to release, because they always rise to the occasion. They're always willing to shift and change. See, that's the thing though. This is an alpha female. I don't feel like the masculine is taking appropriate action here. They might not have if the masculine is willing to listen to the feminine standards and boundaries and be very clear on what it is that they want and stop trying to accommodate the feminine. Like if the feminine says that they want something or that they have a standard and the masculine is not able to meet that, they need to be able to walk. And I don't feel like there is enough self-worth and value. The masculine wants to commit to this feminine so bad because they are a serial monogamist or a love addict or codependent. And the feminine needs to be more compassionate, but since the feminine is an alpha female, they can't deal with the depressive. The offers are not earnest. The offers are whatever they think that the feminine wants, and that's not going to be a sustaining connection. And something here is crumbling, because I know that this masculine is a beta. he came out as the Empress and she came out as the Emperor. That's a very key sign for me that the roles are reversed, that the feminine here is more in the masculine energy and the masculine here is more in the feminine energy. And the first card out was the Emperor and the last card out was the Empress. So what that's telling me is they're not very compatible yet. And they are compatible in general. But the reason why they're here is to help each other evolve. And it's not toxic. But it is still distorted. There's more. I don't feel like I did a very good job, but I don't need feedback on that. I prefer that you don't. I'm gonna give different guidance. I'm gonna move on to the guidance because I'm really struggling in terms of this is fatiguing. So should the feminine stay or go? That's what I want to know. Should the feminine stay or go? Well, the masculine needs to improve health. So the masculine needs to evolve, get better. The feminine needs to be assertive. And I also detected like there's other people that are more viable for the masculine that are in the masculine's life already, and the masculine won't even look around for love that's more aligned with who they are, because the masculine doesn't have a strong sense of self. The masculine has a weak constitution. The masculine's a little bit of a poser, a little bit of an imposter, but it's more self-deception than the intention to deceive the other person. This is not going anywhere. The masculine needs to heal more, and the feminine knows that already. It's just not trusting their intuition. But it's not a false twin flame, it's slow. It's just going too slow. There's synergy here. So these two people are connected, not for the love. There's something else here. Adventure. They should commit to help each other evolve. Oh my gosh, this energy. Oh. There's definitely synergy here in this connection, but I'm not seeing them being able to come together as partners here. I think they're more friends. This connection. because it's very clear that the masculine knows what he wants, and the feminine knows who they are. So that means that the polarities are good, but the polarities don't seem to be good in this connection. The feminine is not going to stay. I don't know why this connection is coming up in the twin. That means that not to terminate the relationship, but the love is not coming the way that it needs to. The devil popped out before the divine feminine came. So something's distorted. It's not false. Because the devil would have to come before the Lover's card comes, and that didn't happen. This is a distorted connection. I think they're soulmates, and I think they're better as friends. I don't think they should be in an intimate union. Man, I need a minute here. The feminine knows this, and the masculine is trying to make this happen however they can. Artfulness on the masculine side, anticipation on the feminine side. The feminine is going to try to make this happen. And the feminine is also holding on to help the masculine heal and recover, which means the feminine is, in a way, has already left. And the masculine is doing everything that they can. But until the masculine is ready to leave, the feminine is being accessible and approachable, yet still having boundaries and standards and being clear. I can sense, I can feel, I can see, I can tell that the feminine is saying, no, 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 no. I'm still here, it's okay. I'm still here, it's okay. No, 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 no. It's not gonna work, that's not gonna work, that's not gonna work, that's not gonna work. I can't do that for you, I can't do that for you, I can't do that for you. I will not do that, that won't work, I won't. This can't happen, no. But I'm still here, I'm here to support you. Let me know what your needs are. So this masculine is really needing healing. And I feel like the feminine has been really honest. The masculine has been self-deceptive. It's trying to get, by any means necessary, make this happen. And since the feminine is is secure in themselves, they respond to every different strategy with truth, clarity, reasoning, intellect, communication, and it shatters every attempt that the masculine makes to lock this connection down, because it's not a romantic thing. It's not a twin flame. if you ask about twin flame, it's a false twin flame, but it's really because the masculine is distorted. Because he could be the divine masculine if he simply stops and wanting connection here. It's a union for sure. That we're soulmates, but we are not twin flames. So whomever this is, baby daddy or not, we're definitely soulmates. We definitely are in the same soul group, but it's not, it's catalytic. The masculine's trying to make this happen by any means necessary. Okay, so addiction. They need to meditate. This kind of person is more suited for somebody who is a beta. And if they do go for an alpha, they need somebody more compatibility with deeper compatibility. There's sensitivity on the masculine side. And they do become obsessive with the why and the why of the why of the why of the why. They need to learn how to cope with their anxiety. They feel empty too often. They do have some type of addiction. It might not be substances. It might be love addiction, codependency. They're using external people to fill things that are alive in them. This person has a God-sized hole in their heart, this masculine here. He's a distorted masculine. I'm getting a lot of phone, computer energy. So they might be checking on the feminine all the time, trying to confirm why the feelings are the way they are, but the feminine has been clear and said already what's going on. They need a deeper sense of self, the masculine. They need to learn how to meditate, contemplate, pray. They need a stronger sense of self, this masculine. Oh, yeah. Grant me a moment. The masculine has a weak constitution. The masculine definitely has a weak constitution. Most definitely. I'm gonna put some cedar on my wish list. If somebody could get it for me, that'd be amazing. It'll be under temple supplies. Oh, that was what I needed. Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm getting, so we need to move on. Whew. Man, this energy is wackadoodle. Also, old relationships are interfering. in this connection. They keep running into the same unhealthy relationship dynamic. The instincts are off with this masculine. They have difficulty trusting. Ultimately, it's really up to you. You can make this relationship work, but one person has to compromise and the other person needs to make a sacrifice. I don't really think it's the right kind either, so. Okay, so since this is not 100% twin flame, I'm gonna take a different direction here. Yeah. The masculine is never going to understand fully the feminine. The masculine needs to wake up, have an awakening. And they're evolving, but they need to get some professional help. Collaborative dreaming here. The sacred rebel. Yeah, they need to listen to what they're being told. They need to listen to their intuition. They need to focus on healing. Your heart is big enough to dream, not only for yourself, but for a new humanity. Imagine a world that is healed with respect, understanding, and community that fosters life. Even your dreams that relate to you alone will contribute positively to the greater good because this is the nature of your heart. Your heart naturally and intelligently cooperates in a grand scheme of loving creativity, working to heal the hearts of the world. The heart creates a win-win situation that benefits the individual and the collective. They're looking for a like-hearted person that's masculine. They're working in a situation that's not entirely win-win, so that means they should stay for romance. They need to, this oracle is guiding you to stay in your integrity, honor what you feel, and remember why you chose to open up to group endeavors in the first place, to love, to union, especially the involvement that becomes complex or challenging. Call on unconditional love each day and evening. It only takes a moment to do so. I call upon unconditional love. Please help guide me. That's what you should ask from the universe. So this relationship is about healing. And definitely soulmates, and it's not karmic soulmates. It's a distorted masculine. It would be a false twin, but it's not because it's karmic. Okay. I think the masculine. The masculine needs healing here, and a chapter is ended. A chapter's ending. The feminine's going to end up leaving this connection pretty soon. I'm getting the energy that the masculine keeps trying to impress the feminine. And every time he gets told no, he goes away and comes back with an offer that they think the feminine would be open to. And it's not about, because that's wishy-washy. Be more clear about who you are, be more clear about what you want, go towards what you want. And when I want something different than what you want, don't suddenly change. Be fine when there's differences. And of course, if you love somebody, you're going to want to hold space for them to get their needs met. But sometimes you cannot meet their needs, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you love them any less. It actually is a sign of maturity when there's a difference and you guys can handle the difference comfortably. This masculine needs more healing. I don't know why it's coming here in this time. I'm confused. It means that okay, so the masculine was stuck in this relationship so that they could broaden the horizons. This relationship has given them healing and clarity. And feminine, you healed this masculine to a level where they're now ready to get into a deeper healing relationship with themselves. The next person the masculine needs to date is a very beta person, or date themselves. Because what I see next is healing for them. They're finally going to come into self-worth and value, self-worth and respect. Okay, it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. If anything I said resonates deeply with you, go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you soon, dear. Bye-bye.